injuries that I've had, they all accumulate to certain things, but the overall, accumulation is to my hip, which is, your biggest weight-bearing joint in the body. And also you're pushing. It's that push. It's that constant grind, and doing that for 20 years, a million times every skate, you're pushing, aren't you? It's like every second you're pushing. Jumping downstairs, landing, that impact of the femur just jamming into the socket. Boom, boom, boom. And the way I've skated, by basically finding the biggest thing that I can jump off, pretty much for at least 15 years of my 20 years of skating was like, let's go to the biggest thing, let's jump off it. And that has led to complete breakdown of the cartilage, soft tissue in my hips, and now I have severe arthritis. And the flexibility, the movement, the pain, the inflammation is what I deal with now. And it's all because of that whole, 20 years of just going crazy. But also I have a bit of a hereditary as well. The family has hip issues, so a bit of both. I definitely sped it up with skateboarding. The process that I have to do now to go out that door and go to a skate park and skate starts with the night before or the day of foam rolling, eating super healthy, greens, vegetables, staying away from, the sugars, the carbs, the alcohol that just cause inflammation in the body. Stretching, a lot of stretching every single day. Before I skate, at home, before I go to bed, constantly stretching. And then I'm relying on ibuprofen, for inflammation. So generally now when I go for a skate, I'll probably pop 2 before I start skating. And by the time I get warmed up and ready to start busting some serious tricks, they've kicked in, they've just softened the pain and the annoyance that you have in your mind, because you're like, I want to do these tricks, but you keep feeling these pain messages saying pain. You're like, it takes the fun away from like trying that trick that is a little bit higher impact. Do all that, and then when that session finishes, I'm then, maybe an Epsom salt bath, stretching, relaxing the rest of the day, and trying not to skate for at least a day or 2. I can't back to back. When I go back to back, I'm just going in feeling sore and inflamed and already angry. So my process is definitely a lot to get going, but I will continue doing it because I just love it. And it's an outlet. So being a chef, you're in a high stressed environment. You're constantly on pressure, you're constantly on the clock, you're constantly dealing with getting the food out on time, prepping it right, So you have all these pressures, and then when I get on a skateboard, it just like, anything that I'm dealing with, it's just like, it's a real outlet. It's a stress reliever. It's amazing just to flow around the skate park, to do a nice kick flip. You get rewarded constantly by landing. When you land a nice trick or you pop a trick well, it releases endorphins that your body just, that's nice, and that's why you keep going back for it, because I'm passionate about it. I love it. I love to skateboard. There is definitely a freedom that comes with hopping on a skateboard, because you stepped on it yourself, no one told you to do it. You're skating it exactly how you want to skate it. You don't have to be in the park, you can be down the street, you can be on that handrail, so the freedom is up to you. So absolutely. I will skate as long as my body will allow me to. So I'm definitely up for a hip replacement. That's going to happen probably in the next 2-3 years. I'm 36 now. I mean, a lot of surgeons would be more than happy to cut me out and rip that hip out and put a new one in. But at the same time, the hips that they put in are prone to dislocation, and I still want to skate at a level where I am jumping down set to step. I still like sliding handrails, and oh my god, that is like a nightmare to just have that pop out and have this weird lump of skin coming out here and being on the ground in a weird like pretzel look. someone pull that leg and pull this leg over this way and we need to get it back in. That freaks me out. So when the doctor said, yeah, you know, you can't raise your leg too much once you get hip replacement, your range of motion isn't like a normal hip, even though my range of motion is already fused, you know, it still freaks me out. So I will hold off a bit longer. I will still jump down as much and deal with all the other things like, you know, the stretching, the painkillers, but it's inevitable. I will have a hip replacement, and then we will make another video that day, you know, and talk about the differences. Maybe I'll look back at this video and slap myself. That I should have done it then and then, or I'll be like, yeah, thank God I did that because my hip dislocated the freaking first set of stairs I jumped down or something, you know? So we'll see. Not anymore. Oh my God, I don't like seeing slam videos anymore. Especially if there's a broken bone or a dislocation or a torn ligament. Just like it may be like a back bouncer or, you know, just a good hipper, I can handle those. But when I see ligaments or bones breaking or getting pulled the wrong way, that freaks me out. But a good just like front blunt on a big handrail and just wave back to the back, or hip bouncer or body bouncer, that's okay. But it's when ligaments break and bend the wrong way, then that freaks me out. Because I have one of my slams on video on YouTube. I got a lot on YouTube, but the one that I made specifically just as a slam video, which was when I ollied that big gap in Holland, in Amsterdam. Day of, it was kind of cold, it was not a very good day. I lined up a photographer to come shoot the photo because he knew it was a big gap. Not many skaters had skated in Holland. And I was like, man, it is awesome, it's such a good gap. I just was like, yes. But when I was living in Holland, you know, I wasn't jumping down big gaps every day like I was in Australia. It's kind of more normal. So I guess my body wasn't in tuned as much, not as sharp as the sword or the knife can be. You know, when you don't sharpen the knife, you start losing a little bit of that edge. And when I ollied out, I just didn't get that nice snap, suck into my feet. So I got a little bit of separation from feet to board, and when that separations happen, you rotate, you move a little bit, and then when you connect back on the concrete, something's moved, or you know, and that's what happened basically. I got a little dislocation, a little soggy in the air, and somehow one foot slipped off the back, the other one went forward, and it just blew my knee apart. When I watched that video, because that set me back so many months, I had a trip planned to Barcelona. I basically was stuck in my apartment in Holland, just doing, you know, knee exercises and things to try and get better. The camaraderie and the friendship and the community that you get from being a part of a skate park or having a local skate park is that you're sharing that same interest and you're coming to this one place to enjoy that thing, and it's skateboarding. And I guess skateboarding is more unique than, let's say, surfing. You go to a surf break, the waves are bigger, they're different, they change. So those surfers are going to go out there, they are going to know it's their break, but it's always evolving and changing. Skateboarding never changes. Once that cement's poured, it's there for good. So you can talk to a guy that skated it 50 years ago and talk like you know exactly what that ledge is like, exactly what that bump is like, because it never changes, and you know how high it is to get up to that ledge, or how slow the cement is, or how steep the transition in the quarter is. So the camaraderie, the friendship that you make from that skate park it can last forever, really. I've had friends that I've met when I was skating Gosford Skate Park, and I'm still skating with them now, and that's like, yeah, over 20 years. 20 years of friendship, basically, and it's just sharing that same love for skateboarding. and maybe it's not at that skate park anymore, but it's making plans to get together and skate other skate parks, because we're blessed being in Australia that they build skate parks, you know, God knows how many a year, brand new ones. So like surfers travel around surfing breaks, we travel around wanting to surf the concrete, the cement. My biggest triumph would be picking up a big, international known skate sponsor, and that was DC Shoe Co. So I got sponsored by DC Shoe Co when I was pretty young. You know, I'd been skating for probably maybe 4 years, and maybe 4 or 5 years, and then I picked up DC Shoe Co. And in those 4 or 5 years, I was living, eating, and breathing and shitting skateboarding. And my progression level just was like so fast. And within that, all I wanted was to have a big company that's gonna basically give me all the gear that I need to do my skateboarding. You know, it wasn't the first year, oh, I've got to get sponsored. I did not even believe I deserved to be sponsored. But when I got to that level and I started noticing tricks in videos that I can do, then I started thinking, wow, that guy's in a video, he has 5 sponsors, but actually I can do a trick, one more variation than what he's doing in the video. Or maybe that was his end trick and I can do that trick, you know, normal. You know what I mean? So I started to think, you know, I'm gonna go for a sponsor now. And that's basically when I started putting all my clips together on a videotape and then started getting it out there, you know. I won a competition, and through that competition, I guess the shop that was sponsoring it, at the comp they came up to me and said, hey, we want you to ride for us. I was like, cool, yeah, okay. So I rode for them, and through them, a representative of DC came to the store to talk about the new snowboard selection, the skateboard, just an overall everything. And that's when the shop sponsor was like, hey, I got this guy riding for us, Mitch, he's just throwing himself down everything, he's doing bigger tricks than anyone else on the coast. Here's his footage. The guy watched the footage, was like, yeah, I'll put him on DC. So I then got the big package, I don't know, like a week later or something like that, and I was on Flow, DC Flow. So that was like a triumph for me. And then it just kept going from there, because that, you know, that turned into another sponsor. At one stage I had maybe like 5 sponsors: clothing, a shop, a board, an online sponsor. You know, it was just like, holy shit, this is it. And, you know, and then I started making a bit of money, like making videos for a website and getting paid to teach kids to skateboard. That was like, man, this is it. So that, you know, it just went way up, and very, very happy for it. Making a video edit, you know, getting it so your friends can see it, was the most intense thing. You know, when I think about it now, it's absolutely nuts. So we're talking VHS, we're talking analog video cameras, then connecting the camera to a VCR, getting the footage off the analog onto a VHS videotape from that video. So you're losing quality right there. So you've lost quality onto the videotape. Now from the videotape, you then need to set up your own little editing suite, which is 2 VCRs with a CD player. Right, so you've got your raw dump footage from the camera onto your first VHS videotape, which just has all just dropped tricks. There's no order, it's all madness. And then you have your blank VHS in the second video recorder. So you put the raw one on top, you put the blank one on the bottom, you press play on the CD player. The CD player is playing music. This tape's playing the raw just dumps of clips. And then when it gets to the point of the bit that you want on this tape, you press record on the bottom one. It records that little bit, and then pause, and then you have rubbish. And then the next clip that comes along, pause, which you recorded on, and you just basically do that. And it's the most janky sort of editing you've ever seen. Handwritten titles, Mitch Faber presents, blah, 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 you know. Nuts, dude, absolutely nuts. That's 20 years ago. Fast forward to now, 2018, and it is the most pleasurable thing to go outside, film a clip, get the iPhone out, and just like connect through Bluetooth, look at the footage, edit it, highlight it, take a screenshot from it, share it. It is like the most easiest thing and most pleasurable, and that's why my editing has come a long way from when I was doing it on VHS tape. That's just natural progression. The tools that you have these days, it's like anyone can edit a little video. You can put in a month or you can put in an hour, and it's totally up to the person, and it's a total creativity. It's like a blank canvas, and it's just another outlet to showcase the art form of skateboarding. The thing that excites me the most, and it has been the same from day one, is capturing skateboarding. It's getting the video camera out and skating and pushing to get a new trick, capturing a cool angle, making something look awesome. That has always been the hugest excitement for me. Shooting a photo, getting a photographer lined up for a day. The Port Macquarie trip, getting all my mates lined up from all their different jobs, getting time off to all meet at one skate park and get the drone up in the air, get the cameras out, get the SLRs, get the video cameras, get the GoPros, capture a whole heap of fun, laughter, and then we have that moment captured, and we can look back at that exactly like we did at the Airbnb, where we pulled up the old videos from Port Macquarie and it's just so fun to look back on those things. When I get to skate parks now, being at the age that I am, there's definitely jealousy. You're like, damn. More so because my hip has severe arthritis, and so I'm more jealous about their awesome hips. Their nice flowing hips, their big ninja kick legs, just getting that flexibility. So I'm jealous of that because I still have the tricks. I still can do the technical tricks, but it's grind. It's like a grind. It's a painful thing to do that. I can still do it, so I'm not jealous that he's doing that trick. I'm jealous at how smoothly his body functions. The fact that he can hit the cement, pop up like a little spring chicken, jump and do it again, or do it 30 times. I used to do that. So that's what I feel now when I see those kids. I'm like, oh, so lucky. I remember that, That's pretty much it. It doesn't get me down. I'm just like, son of a bitch.